Hello family, welcome back to another YouTube video. If it's your first time here, welcome. My name is Lucy Brown. I truly do hope that you enjoy your visit or your stay, and as well as the content. And if you do indeed enjoy this video as well as the content, please do also make sure that you consider becoming part of this family by hitting the subscribe button down below. Also, please also make sure that you give this video a massive thumbs up. Remember, giving this video a like basically helps YouTube to recommend this video to a larger audience as well. If you'd like to be notified whenever I upload fresh, new, crispy content, you're more than welcome to smash the notification bell down below. As you've seen from the title of the video, today we are speaking about how to be single and content. I remember in my single days of just how many people just thought that I was miserable. Yeah, there was a point in my single life where I was miserable, but there was also a point where I was just literally enjoying my life and I was content with being single. Well, in this video, I want to go into the benefits of actually being single and content and what you can actually utilize, or the areas where you can actually maximize your time on that some of us married people don't really have the privilege of having when. If we do, it's quite minimal. Point number one, self-discovery. From the bottom of my heart, if there's one thing that I could advise a young teenager to just take along with them as they are growing and evolving into a young adult, if I can put it in that way, is just to be stingy with yourself and be selfish in a sense. And selfish in a sense, I mean that just use their time to discover themselves and enjoy themselves instead of chasing after vanities and chasing after things which literally will find you along the way. Being single can provide you with the opportunity to actually focus on yourself, to focus on your hobbies, to focus on your interests, to just focus on developing yourself as a young adult or as an adult or as a human being. When you are single, you have the freedom to dedicate a significant time and energy to your personal growth. It is actually no wonder the Apostle Paul says that if it were up to him, it's best that you stay single. And he reasons this out by saying that when you are a single person, you can actually focus on the Lord, meaning that your attention, your focus can be dedicated on one thing and a number of things that are connected to your personal life. Unlike when you are married, where you have the cares of the world and the cares of your spouse that you need to take care of. If there's one thing that I actually wish I did more of when I was single, is to actually explore more. And when I mean explore, I don't mean like explore towards things that are just gonna waste my life, but explore more towards and in things that resonate a lot with me. I feel like when I was single, I held back a lot, and I always thought to myself, maybe when I'm grown or maybe when I get much more older, I'll be more outgoing, I'll go out much more, I'll be more open to friends. Right now, I'm just, so I held back a lot because I was actually putting off a lot of things for a later stage in my life. And so I feel like one of the benefits of being single, and if you are single, don't ever, or you should not, and I ask of you to just not take advantage of the fact that you've got the freedom really to explore things that truly resonate with you. For instance, if you are single and you decided that you wanted to get up and change sceneries or change a location, you could do that without, or let me just say with minimal sort of risk. Whereas if you're married, you're thinking about your spouse, there's just a lot to think about. There's so much that you can pursue when you're single without having to primarily worry about how it's going to affect the next person. Point number two, and this is obviously if you are a believer, you can fully and completely focus on the Lord. Like I previously mentioned about the Apostle Paul speaking about singleness and married and a married person in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 7, you can go ahead and read it. When you are single, you can fully and completely focus on one thing without having the worries of putting someone else's needs first, or without trying to worry about your husband's needs, which also does translate to your amount and the level and the energy that you put in towards your spiritual growth and the things of the spirit. It's just not the same. So I'd advise you, as a single person, take advantage of the fact that you don't have those additional responsibilities, especially when it comes to serving the Lord. If there's one thing that you do not want to be negligent of, is your spiritual growth. Do not leave your spiritual growth, your spiritual journey with the Lord, your zeal towards God, your commitment towards your local church. Do not leave it for a later stage in your life where you're like, I'm gonna do it with my family, or I'm gonna do it with whoever. While you still have the energy right now, try your best to invest your all into your spiritual growth and into your spiritual journey. So I'd encourage you to go all out for the Lord while you are still single. Make sure that you build yourself a spiritual foundation. Build yourself a relationship, a strong and a genuine relationship with the Lord while you still have the time. If it means attend all night prayers, like, do that, because you don't have the responsibility of being home, making sure that you're home because you have to cook for people, take care of kids or whatnot. Go to all night prayers, attend events, Christian events as much as you can. When you are needed at church, or someone is needed to fill in a gap somewhere at church, make sure that you are truly a person that your spiritual leaders can truly trust on, because you've got that liberty, unlike a person who is not single. If you're going to be single and content, you've got to be intentional about how you spend your time and what you invest your time into. And the last thing you want to do as a single in your single season, if obviously you are waiting for a spouse, or in your single life generally, if you aren't waiting for a spouse and you just want to stay single for the rest of your life, or at least for now, the last thing you want to do is not be effective in your spiritual life. So I'm just going to encourage you that just make sure that in this season of your life that you are not lukewarm towards the things of the Lord. Everything in your life, single or not, is literally built on the strength or lack of strength of your prayer life and of your spiritual journey. So as a single, because you have that benefit of investing so much of energy into your spiritual journey, just make sure that the basis, the foundation, which is your spiritual journey, just make sure you are watering it, you are taking care of it in as much as you can, in order for you to be effective in other avenues in your life. Point number 3, social opportunities. When you are single, you often have more flexibility to engage in social activities and events. And I think you can use this flexibility to your advantage, right? Because you can obviously go out in as much as you want, meet as many people as you want, step out of your comfort zone, initiate conversations with new people. And on top of that, you have the freedom to invest time to develop and to nurture these relationships that you're building with new people. Use your flexibility to your advantage and find yourself in spaces where you know probably or where you think at least the type of people that you're looking to gel with. If you are really picky with the type of people that you want to befriend, invest and go out to places where you know very well that maybe you are more likely to meet up with the people that you really want to sort of engage with, or maybe, but just make sure that you're putting yourself out there, because you've got the flexibility to actually do that. Point number 4, flexibility. And I know I touched a little bit on this, but I'd just like to expound a little bit on the benefits of actually having flexibility at your exposure. I actually recall being told a story by someone, and this person was actually telling me that when she started working, and she was about 20, 21, if I'm not mistaken, and she said one of the questions she was actually asked during the interview was, "Are you single? And do you have any kids?" And she said that one of the reasons she actually had got the job was the fact that she was single and that she didn't have any children. And I get why they asked her that question, because when you are single, you've got the benefits and you've got the privilege of flexibility, unlike a person who is married or a person who has a child, right? For instance, if you are required to work late, or if your boss asks you to work late, it truly isn't much to ask of them, according to them at least. It truly isn't much of them to ask you to work an extra hour or to come in over the weekend and work overtime, to just make those extra sacrifices that a person who is either married or has a child would not be able to make those sorts of sacrifices easily. At times, in order for you to stand out, in order for you to be separated, or in order for you to be recognized amongst your peers, amongst your colleagues, you've got to do things that are going to make you, or that's going to put you a step ahead than the other people. Things that are going to make you be considered for their promotion, for instance. And obviously, this is not true in all cases, because some people might say, yeah, your work speaks for yourself and whatnot. But I'm speaking of the benefits of having flexibility. So I feel like if truly you do want to stand out in terms of your work ethic, and really want to make yourself recognized, when you are single, you can use that flexibility to your benefit. Not only in the corporate world, even when you are a content creator, there is a level of flexibility that you can use to your advantage, right? And when we speak about flexibility, I think it's important for me to also note that flexibility can also be in terms of finance, right? And I know not all single people are flexible in a sense in terms of finances, because they still do have responsibilities back at home, black tax, etc., and that is the truth for majority of South Africans. But let me just speak in a case where you are single and you really don't have black tax. You can use your financial flexibility to your benefit, in a sense that your money can primarily serve you, right? If you're thinking to yourself, I'm a content creator, or you're looking at a new type of scenery, you can truly relocate to a place that's going to bring about new experiences and professional growth as well. Point number 5, show yourself some grace. And I'm going to close off with this point, and I found it very necessary to actually add on this point into this video. I feel like there's a whole lot of pressure that goes on, or that comes on to a single person, that if they were married, maybe it wouldn't have been as much pressure. In your workspace, you're expected to come in early, work those extra hours, come in on the weekend, because you're not married, you don't have a child, so you don't have responsibility. So what really are you doing with your life? So it's almost as if you really don't have anything to do with your life because you're not married. And dare you say that, oh, I can't come in this weekend because I've got things to do. Then it's almost as if it's interpreted as you're not ambitious enough because this is an opportunity to make money, type of thing. And then when you are of age, or when you're growing up, into the age where you are supposed to be married, or you should have been married at that age, then there's things like the reason why she's not married is probably because she has a bad heart, or probably because she's not humble enough, that's why no guy wants to marry her, or probably she ill-treats or mistreats guys because she is financially well off, and no guy is going to be able to stand a woman who ill-treats him because she's financially well off. And then comes a time where you should be, or you're deemed at an age where you should be having children. If you can't get married, at least then you should get a child. And if you don't, or if you don't have a child, then it's interpreted as, no, she doesn't want to have a child because she still wants to play around, she doesn't want to grow up. So I feel like there's just so many negative connotations to being single in the society. And I often think that in as much as you can have the mentality that I don't care what people say to me, but there's so much that a human being can take in, right? So I do think to a certain point that it does, or it can rather, because it's not true for everyone, it can kind of affect you to feel like you're not accomplished in a sense. Because if you're not married, you don't have a child, then it's like, as a woman, you should at least have those two things. And I'm like, but what if those things don't happen for you, then does that change your purpose? Does that change that you're a good person? That show yourself some grace in your life. There's so much that you have control over, right? So show yourself some grace. Do you understand what I'm saying? At times, even when it comes to finance, I remember hearing such things that, no, but what are you doing with your money? You're not married. But what are you doing with your money? You're not you don't have a child, almost as if it's been dictated that what you should be using your money on, because you're single and that you don't have much things to spend your money on. Or even if you're taking care of yourself, they'd be like, can't you invest or can't you spend money on something else? You're wasting money type of thing. So I truly think, as a single, show yourself some grace in your life. And I mentioned that there's different categories of singleness. There's certain people that are single, and it's not by choice. They truly are waiting on God to come through for them in terms of a spouse. Show some area or show some grace towards yourself, that there's so much that you can control in terms of your spouse coming along. And then there's obviously also the group who is content in being single. They don't have a problem being single, and frankly, spending the rest of their lives without having a romantic partner. They are fine with that. Your worth is not found in children. Your worth is not found in a spouse. And all your efforts, your sweat, and your hard work is not going to go in vain or to vain just because you don't have a child and you don't have a spouse. All I'm going to say to that is, truly, if you've decided on taking that journey on your life, or towards your life, or in your life rather, may the Lord strengthen you for that journey. May the Lord strengthen you in whichever walk or category that you find yourself in. Well guys, I'm going to end off the video right here. Again, if you have not liked the video, please do make sure that you give it a massive thumbs up so that YouTube can recommend this video to other people. Please also leave a comment down below and tell me, what did you think of this video? If you have not subscribed by now, please do make sure that you consider becoming part of this family by hitting the subscribe button down below. Please also remember guys, subscribing is absolutely for free of charge, so I truly appreciate if you do that. And as I mentioned, if you enjoy the content in the video, please also make sure that you smash the notification bell if you'd like to be notified whenever I upload fresh, new, crispy content. And yeah, that is it from me guys. Thank you so much for your love and your support. It truly does not go unnoticed, and I'll see you in the next one.